Hi, waterlogging is a cause of soil degradation. In waterlogging, soil profile is saturated with water and it can be permanent or temporary. Temporary waterlogging is basically due to the heavy rainstorm and the rainwater is accumulated in the field or the agricultural area. But after the rain, it will be drained slowly. In the permanent waterlogging, the water is originated from the groundwater and the land is become a wetland. Okay, and to waterlogging to occur, it is not essential necessary to see water in the surface of the soil. If the water happens to be in the root zone of the plants, that can be considered as waterlogging. Then there are different categories of waterlogging based on different criteria. Based on the causes, the waterlogging may be classified as natural or human-induced. The natural waterlogging is due to the natural causes like rainwater or due to the particular geographical features of the area. But human-induced waterlogging may be due to the agricultural activities. And based on the permanence, waterlogging can be uh, temporary or permanent. Then source of water, the water logging can be rain-fed or irrigated agricultural origin. The rain-fed waterlogging is due to the rainwater, and the irrigated agricultural origin can be due to the irrigation of the crops. Based on location, it can be on agricultural land or other utility land. The causes of water logging. Water logging is basically a drainage problem. The water is not actually removed from the field and it is accumulated in the field and it reaches the root zone. And the water logging, if the level of water is actually 2 meters below the surface of the soil, we can say that the area is prone to water logging. And if the water table is 2 to 3 meters below the soil level, we can say that the area is under risk. There are different causes for waterlogging. There are natural causes as well as the human induced causes. The natural causes is due to the physiography of the watershed, topography, its slope, shape, and drainage pattern, or the geological factors and soil features can also affect the waterlogging. Human induced causes is due to the irrigation, maybe the over irrigation, inadequate drainage, or poor irrigation management, etc., can contribute to the water logging. Or rain-fed system, the rainfall and limited system for removing the rain water from the system from the area is also cause the water logging. Then what are the effects of water logging? It affects soil, environment, and crops. In the soil, it's actually when the water level is increased and it happens to came into the root zone, it actually displaces the air from the small pores in the soil. So the soil oxygen level will be reduced. It will reduce the soil temperature and it will cause soil salination uh, and structural deformalities and structural collapse can occur in the soil due to the water logging. The reduction potential will be reduced, increased in the soils which is waterlogged, and the chemical equilibrium will be changed because of the elemental properties of this its components. It affects environment. It has positive and negative effect on environment, it actually impairs the sanitary conditions, especially the waterlogging in a large area. The sanitary complications or the host disease vectors can be present in the waterlogged areas, but it provide habitat for so many plants and animals like mudfish, and it actually regulate the hydrology and the sustainable river flow. It has maximum effect on crops. It delay the cultivation operations because waterlogged area we cannot do the cultivation operations. It promote aquatic weeds. It inhibit the water gaseous exchange in the soil. The soil, the roots need to be respirate. It has to take oxygen from the soil for the growth, and it also release carbon dioxide. So when logging occurs, the air in the soil will be displaced by water. So the roots cannot actually take up the oxygen from the soil. So which leads to the growth retardation. At the same time, it also leads to the accumulation of the carbon dioxide in the root zone, which inhibit or like leads to the negative impact on the soil biota. and it also reduce the ability to absorb nutrients from the soil. Nitrogen is lost due to this waterlogging. Reduced nitrogen fixation, the nitrogen fixation bacteria and everything will be inversely negatively affected. Methanogenesis and reduction on ion and manganese oxides. It inhibits the activity of soil bacteria and the soil biodiversity will be reduced. Root death, reduces growth and death of plants, and finally it affects the yield. So if it's a cropland, it will affect the yield. And most adverse effect is seen in germination, seedlings, and rapidly growing plants. So how to solve the water logging? So the first solution is to improve in the drainage. So if the the water is accumulated in one area, so to avoid that, there should be proper drainage. If drainage is not there, make some type of drainage like shallow surface drain or wide spaced furrows or intensive drainage from the raised beds. Then there should be systems for the quick disposal of the rainwater. Then well planned and managed irrigation system, so that some irrigation, if it is not well planned, it can cause the waterlogging. So that should be well managed and planned. And raised bed is, if the area is highly susceptible, uh, using more and more soils, they need to raise the bed so that the waterlogging can be avoided, but it used to be very costly operation. Or we can use the tolerant crops so that the waterlogging won't be affecting our crops. Next cause is decline in soil fertility. So fertility of soil is the ability of soils to provide essential nutrients for the plants. So when the fertility is lost, the soil is not able to provide enough nutrients to the plants, and do not have like optimum conditions for the plant growth. So soil fertility loss is very negatively affect the crop yield. There are different modes of soil nutrient loss or fertility loss from the soil, which include the volatilization, either due to the burning or by the microbial activity, or leaching by rainfall or irrigation. Then crop removal, when we are removing the crops are actually made from the soil nutrients. So when we are removing the crops, the nutrients will be removed from there. Erosion and any cause of land degradation cause the loss in soil fertility. The contributing factors can be listed like agriculture intensification, soil erosion, bleaching, excessive tillage, unscientific rotation of crops, imbalance in fertilizer application, poor irrigation and water management systems, deforestation, ill management of industrial waste, overgrazing by cattle, and urban expansion. Effects, and the loss in soil fertility has so many effects, especially in the agricultural land. It reduces the agricultural output and yield. It causes land acidification and degradation, nitrification of the water, drought and aridity, loss of arable lands, increase the flooding, pollution and clogging of waterways, and overuse of chemical fertilizers. If the fertility of the land is lost, we need to add more and more fertilizers into the land, so which will cause other type of contaminations. So managing soil fertility. So how to manage the how to increase the soil fertility? There are different methods can be used to increase the soil fertility, which includes adding nutrients. There are different ways to adding nutrients. Fallowing is a way, application of mineral fertilizers, application of rock phosphate, inflow of nutrients from gazing, or cultivation of nitrogen fixing plants like leguminous plants, or minimizing the nutrient loss. Erosion can be controlled. Trees in the field to control the wind erosion, and double digging. They're managing internal flows, application of manure, urine, and slurry, recycling compost, organic matter, incorporating crop residues, increase efficiency of nutrient uptake, select crop that match fertility level. So if the plant is very much the crop need too much amount, high amount of nutrients, that plants cannot be cultivated in the low fertile land. But some crops are adjusted, can be cultivated in the low fertile land, so that should be cultivated. The concentrate nutrients in the particular field, then managing nutrient application from the crops. These are also some methods like legume rotation, manure application, etc. So thank you.